Hi everyone, I'm going to do a review of The Author's Guide to Murder. As you can see, the quill is stabbed through the book. It is by 3 authors, Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig and Karen White. They are all New York Times best-selling authors. When I knew this was about authors, because I've been reading a lot of novels about authors this year, it's in the lead up to me sitting down and, getting around to writing my own murder mystery concerning an author. So this is the latest one in just one of the many books. I've now got an Anthony Horowitz on at the library waiting for me. And I've, read a few other books like a James Patterson and this, that, the other. So I've been reading quite a few. I'll just read out the blurb. Agatha Christie meets Murder, She Wrote in this witty locked room mystery and literary satire by the New York Times best-selling team of novelists Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig and Karen White. There's been a sensational murder at historic Castle Kinloch, a gothic fantasy of grey granite on a remote island in the Scottish Highlands. Literary superstar Brett Saffron Presley, what a name, has been found dead under bizarre circumstances in the Castle Tower's book-lined study. Years ago, Presley acquired the castle to lure paying guests with a taste for ricely glamour. Stumbling over myself here. Now it seems the castle has done him in. Or possibly one of the castle's guests has. Detective Chief Inspector Ewan McIntosh. What a name, Ewan McIntosh. Very bloody Scottish. A local with no love for literary Americans finds himself with the unenviable task of extracting statements from 3 American lady novelists. The prime suspects are Cat de Noir, a slinky erotica writer, Cassie Pringle, their names, a southern mum of 6 juggling multiple cosy mystery series, and Emma Endicott, a New England blue blood and author of critically acclaimed historical novels. The women claim to be best friends writing a book together, but their stories don't quite line up, and the detective is getting increasingly suspicious. Why did the authors really come to Castle Kinloch, and what happened the night of the great Kinloch Ceilidh, when Brett Saffron Presley skipped the dancing for a rendezvous with death? Excuse me. A crafty, locked-room mystery, a pointed satire around the literary world, and a tale of unexpected friendship and romance. This novel has it all, as only 3 best-selling authors can tell it. Well, as you can see, it's pretty much about them, the 3 authors. They actually did get together in a bar at a writing conference, which is how the 3 characters in the book came together. Now, look, it was interesting. It's set in Scotland on a little island, and you have the mystery. They all turn up in the middle of the night. You've got your weird people. You've got the woman who runs the place, who's a weirdo. And then there's her grandson, I think it was, Callum. And then you've got Ewan. And then you end up with a dead Brett Saffron Presley. What a name. Triple-barreled name. Who you don't actually see in the book. He's just talked about, and then his body is found. Now, I probably should read that out, because that's the prologue. The prologue. Okay. Kinloch Castle, 10th of December 2022. A murder is reported. Detective Chief Inspector Ewan McIntosh had never seen a crime scene like this one before. Torches gutted in iron holders along the walls of the octagonal chamber, illuminating the body of a man dressed in little more than strategic strips of black leather, sprawled face down in a puddle of something that gleamed pale and sickly. The sickly sweet scent made Ewan feel like retching, or that could just be the sheer amount of punch he'd consumed at the Kinloch Ceilidh last night. Did it count as last night if one hadn't been to bed yet? Erotic tapestries lined the walls. Europa pursued by a bull. Leader in the process of being ravished by a swan. The torchlight glinted off bare breasts, reaching arms, arched necks, and the bare buttocks of the man splayed on the floor. A pseudo-medieval chalice, enormous, inlaid with rough-cut jewels, lay where it must have fallen from the man's outstretched hand, spilling its honeyed contents. A stag's head lolled on the flagstones next to the body, lopsided due to the loss of a branch of antlers on the left. The inspector didn't need to ask what had happened to the missing antler. It was protruding from the back of the man lying on the floor, into which it had been shoved with considerable force. And that is the prologue. for The Author's Guide to Murder. And that's the whole mystery. That's, you know, they all have to go searching for who killed him. Because the three ladies are under, well, they're not under arrest, but they're, you know, told to stay in the house. They certainly can't go anywhere. It's a small island in Scotland, off Scotland. So, you know, they're all suspects. And what I found was the story didn't quite match. One said one thing, and then she told the other she'd said something else. So unless, I don't know what was going on there. But that's An Author's Guide to Murder. Very interesting. There's a lot of fun poked at Scottish men and sheep, and Scottish men and their kilts. And, yeah, things dramatically change at the end. In fact, there is something at the end that happens that made me think, oh, hang on. There was a box of chocolates found under the desk, and she's eating a box of chocolates. Did she have something to do with it? So you might get that impression, maybe not. But that's The Author's Guide to Murder by Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willey, and Karen White. So it's more of a comedy. It's a comedy murder mystery. So that's a book review for The Author's Guide to Murder.